The experience I have using games is, it's not as much as I would like, I suppose. Uh, I have a little bit of experience with it. The main challenge I think most educators have is finding games that are are good, are useful, that help students progress towards the learning targets that we're trying to teach them. That's that's the big thing. There's a lot of games out there, but what'll help them progress towards the learning targets that we're trying to meet. And my mind is wandering right now to thinking about the 5E science method. And the first step in the 5E science method is engage. So maybe that's one really good use of games is in the engagement part um, to help engage students in the content area. That would be that. I noticed some history games on the website in our Blackboard page. I didn't play any of those. I did play quite a bit of the science games. I played let's see. What did I do? I did a knee reconstruction. That was pretty cool. I did a I built a cell phone that sold terribly, and I'm pretty sure something was wrong because there's no way my cell phone should have sold terribly. It was building a cell phone marketed towards seniors, and I did everything. I included big buttons, a simple operating system, things like that, and still like two phones were sold. I don't get it. But it would make me have to want to go back and change that. So that was fun. Um, Thinking about some things from both the explore part on here and the games we played. Uh, Two things that I really latched onto that I think would really help my professional practice that I've never really thought of. Uh, Instead of everybody starting at 100% and then losing points as they go along, everybody starts at 0 and then makes progress towards the eventual goal. So you gain points. And the fact that grading that way isn't really that big of a change, uh, but it's a good psychological change for the students. I think that's something maybe to look into more. I'm going to spend some time thinking about that tonight. I'm just starting a new quarter with a new group of students this week, so this came along at just the right time. I can still do that. Um, and also having students gain like experience points for different achievements that they get. I'm going to think about how I can incorporate that and look into that a little bit more. Uh, Two really uh, powerful ideas, I think, especially when the video we watched talked about how having class rewards like that can help all of the students root for each other. That's something I've been interested in finding out how to do for years. So really interested in that. So that's how that's how what I've learned so far might help my professional practice. Um, I really wish there was more of a database of games, just an exhaustive database, and you can drill down this database by subject area, grade level, the content that you need to teach, the outcomes, things like that. You can drill down to that database to find more resources in games because uh, the resource on the Blackboard page is the most extensive list I've seen of different games. So finding games that are good and accomplish our point is the difficult part. One example of how I've used games before, a couple things. First, when I teach online safety, there's a lot of great online safety games out there. So I usually have a website where I've linked to a bunch of games and then give students just half an hour to an hour to play those games and then reflect upon what they've learned. So that's a good thing. Um, Also, I use MIT Scratch with my eighth graders to teach programming. And students that come in already knowing how to use Scratch kind of puts me in an interesting position because I don't I don't want to have them I want to have them go into something like JavaScript, but I don't want to run the risk of them not being able to have a completed product by the end of the programming unit. So what I do instead is I came up with the idea of having them in Scratch, but instead of having them learn Scratch, they take their knowledge about Scratch and they have to make an educational game. See, normally with students who come in, we spend 4 days learning how to use Scratch, and then I give them 5 whole class periods to just make a game. Just get in a group, make a game, whatever they want to make. I've seen anything: racing games, sword fighting games, whatever. Um, if they already know how to do Scratch, instead of spending all that time making just any game, a lot of times people come in having made quite a bit of games. What I'll have them do is make an educational game. So go to their science teacher. What are they learning in their science class? And then they have to make a game where the science teacher could take the class into the computer lab, everybody could play their game, and learn about what they're supposed to learn about. So that's another area where I've used games.